Hello, everyone, and welcome to the August 29th Kubernetes Contributor Summit North America Planning Meeting. As a general reminder, these meetings are recorded and we post on the internet sometime later. We abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to please be excellent to each other. As a few people have to leave early, I'll get rolling right into things and sort of jump around the agenda a little bit. Deb, Brianne, do you want to give us a quick CNCF update?
Sure thing. So we've got some deadlines today that we need to go through. The first would be room layouts, which let me share my screen. Oh, are you able to give me permission to share my screen?
Yep, give me 1 sec.
Thank you.
Try now.
That worked. All right, so this is the space that we have currently. I missed the last meeting, so I apologize, but do we know where we stand with the schedule to be able to talk about like what layout you want these rooms to be in and what AV, what's recording, things like that?
So Jason dropped a bunch of notes in chat because he was not going to be able to make it to the meeting today.
In Slack?
Yes, sorry. So for room AV requirements, one room set for panels with more general talks, 420A, multiple mics to accommodate panel speakers and Q&A, projector, one room set up for workshops, 420B, enough mics for presenters and co-presenters, projector, etc. Two of the meeting rooms set up for like SIG project use, so like U-shaped table config, projector. One of the meeting rooms set up for 2 to 3 mics and projector.
Okay, perfect. We will sort through this right now before the meeting's over and then get back to you if we have any other questions.
Okay, and happy to continue offline to, power through that.
Okay, are we recording anything?
Ideally, yes.
Okay.
As much as we can. Especially like some of the deep dive talks and things like that. All that content has been super useful, and even like the stuff from 2018 still gets referenced today.
Okay. Awesome. Let us update this and then we can go through hopefully before the end of the meeting and finalize what that looks like. Okay. Then moving on, we are starting signage. Out of the normal directional signage, room signage, things like that, do you all have any specific signage based on your sessions that we need to be considering?
I don't think so. One thing that might be useful would be to at least have one screen that we can display the, like a schedule, sort of like go here to lit and like list where all the rooms and stuff like that is.
Yeah, like digital signage.
Yeah, like
the digital schedule that. Yep, we'll have that.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
Okay. If you think of anything else by end of day, let us know.
Well, I've also been sort of monopolizing the conversation here. What do other people like? Do other people think outside like general signage would sort of like one central display be good enough, or? Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion, Bob, because I never paid much attention for what the signage was or how to get there. So I'm sorry, I can't contribute. I'm just listening.
And it's all good. And it's just I've done a lot of events, but I know I will never think of anything and everything. So I always like to like try and see if other people have other thoughts or ideas.
Sorry, I'm right.
Oh, it's all good. Deb?
We don't have the schedule finalized for activities yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have an ETA on when we're trying to target that?
Unfortunately, the CFP has not launched yet. It will hopefully launch soon.
Okay,
and that will, help us firm things up significantly more with the schedule.
okay,
One thing we could potentially do in terms of additional signage is if we have a firm idea of what the rooms are going to be like for like workshop, SIG, working presentation, whatever, would be some basically just signage to say like this is the workshop room or whatever.
yeah.
One thing we could potentially do instead is like, just thinking more generically, is have generic signage, then a space for like take a sheet of 8.5 by 11, write workshop on it, and slap it on there. Because
We'll have nicer because we'll include that in all of our room signage and directional signage. So hopefully you won't have to do the makeshift version.
okay,
I mean, it might also just be reasonable to be something generic like morning workshops, afternoon on conference.
yeah.
Okay. All right, perfect. The celebration venues. We have two options for that. Brian, do you want to present them or do you want me to?
Doesn't really matter. Actually, there's 3 options. So
Okay, there you go.
yeah. Whichever you prefer, I don't care.
Actually,
Right.
quick thing before doing this, Xander, you had to go in like 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So quick pin in this. It's semi probably related. Do you have any updates or anything you want to give regarding?
Nothing in particular. I'll actually just give thoughts on the venue, since I did just take a look at the options here before I go. I think they all look like great options, but I think Deluxe Flux, just for the proximity to the venue, that's like huge points right there. Because I mean, while I think Barcade might be like the best venue objectively, like we would likely have to provide transportation, right, to get people 3 miles from the convention center. And Deluxe Flux looks like it's just about a half mile away, so that to me looks good. That's just my thoughts there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have in terms of updates. I was looking at the venues that you and Jeff sent over, and like, yeah, Deluxe Flux and Barcade were pretty high on the list of good contenders. So yeah.
For well, that sort of like rolls right into this. Brand, you want to give a quick rundown?
Sure. So yeah, Deluxe Flux, I actually was one that was on Jeff's list that CNCF had kind of done some prior research on. So that's actually where I was able to find that one and pull from. I have pulled 3 options that are still available. I've double checked, verified they're still good, and they do fall within budget. Deluxe Flux, what's nice about that one is it is a full buyout. They are not open typically on Mondays, so we would have the entire space. They offer arcade games, foosball. It's kind of separated. The rooms that you're seeing here is their neon space, so it's kind of funly lit. Then they have another, section that doesn't have these bright lights, so just kind of offers a lot of different space to move around for people. They also offer karaoke. And we would have a sound engineer, so kind of somebody there to just kind of oversee, make sure everything's working and good. And we would also have use of their PA system. It is, like you said, 0.6 miles, so about 10-minute walk, I think is what Google told me. Meeting space rental, they do charge $2,000 plus, tax and services. Food and beverage minimum is 6,000 plus, and they do have a required bar package that we would have to purchase. But that does include 2 hours of beer and wine and other drinks. So estimated total spend would be 22,000. That was based on 200 people. Our next option.
One quick question on this.
Yeah.
Can we get it for 3 hours? And like, if the beer and wine service is included for the first two, and then it's like cash bar or something like that after, or is there any?
Yeah,
any
that
change
is
by chance?
that is an option. Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Some of the big feedback we got from our previous ones is like 2 hours is too short.
Yeah, no, I did ask them about that. We could extend and do something like that. I figured we probably would do tickets as well. So just to kind of keep count on everything. But it is an option to do a cash bar, or even if we wanted to do it on consumption, they're kind of willing to work with us. So. Any other questions on Deluxe Flux? All right. Next is Top Golf Swing Suites, and this is at the MGM. It again would be a full buyout of their space, and it includes 4 Top Golf bays. Multiple people can play at a time. They also have 2 shuffleboard tables, pool table, oversized Pac-Man games, and she did mention a few other smaller arcade style games. We would have use of their mic and speakers as well. Throughout the space, they've got a bar area, they've got different stations set up where they can set up different food stations, just a big space kind of for people to mingle. Obviously the main draw is going to be the Top Golf simulated golf. It is a mile from Huntington Place. It said under 20 minutes walk, so it's not bad. It was really just kind of straight up the street, it looked like, so didn't seem too difficult. Meeting space rental is $1,500, and that really is just to kind of cover the use of the games and the maintenance that's involved there. Food and beverage minimum was $13,000, and then drinks would be purchased via drink tickets. So I priced everything out based on 2 drink tickets per person, and that would be open the entire 3 hours. Total spend estimated is $25,000, and that brings it to $125 per person, again based on 200 people. Any questions on that one? Okay. Next we have Barcade Detroit. Again, full buyout, and that does include an outdoor seating space. They offer 65 arcade games and 14 pinball games. So that's kind of the big draw and attraction here. They also have 24 draft beers. So apparently that's the largest amount of anywhere in Detroit, is what they told me. The distance is 2.9 miles. So this one is further. People would have to either find transportation, or we provide transportation. Meeting space rental is free. The food and beverage minimum is $13,000, and drinks would be purchased via drink ticket, and they are doing 3 drink tickets per person. So again, this is 3 hours, so basically 1 drink ticket per hour. Estimated total spend would be $20,000, and that puts us at $100 per person based on 200 people. Any questions on that one? All right.
Do we know if this place has any sort of PA or anything like that included with it?
She said we would have use of their kind of like their, I guess, large speaker system. They don't really have like a stage or anything set up, but she did say we would be able to use their system and play music or whatever we needed to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm up. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I would +1 Deluxe Flux just for it's like big thing is its proximity. One of the big things, October in Michigan can either be like really awesome fall, or it's going to be rainy and sleety and awful.
Yeah.
So the closer we can get to the area, the better. That, and they do have like a decent amount of other various games and things we can do.
Yeah, it definitely, and that they sounded very flexible too. So it sounded like they're very open to working with us. If we had other ideas or things that we wanted to try to incorporate, it seems like they're very willing to figure out how to make it happen. So.
The one thing we definitely might want to convey, like posting the pictures on the contributor site and all that, is that they do have like black lights and things like that in there.
Yeah. I didn't ask about strobe lights or anything. I could ask about that because I know people that have seizure disorders, that can be a bad thing.
I don't think they do, or that we can turn off.
Yeah, I would.
Because
I would-
that's really only for like, DJing.
Yeah. And she did say if we don't want to have the neon lights on, that's optional also. So I think if that was something we didn't want to do, we don't have to.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
I think for a place like this, it would be important to have potentially, this is a very visually loud room that I'm looking at. So knowing what the variance would be important for some people deciding to attend.
Yeah, they do have some other pictures and all that on their site.
Yeah, they also have, I think, Facebook and Instagram. I was able to kind of pull up some other photos as well. And let me see.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I have
Yeah,
all
like
the other photos from them too, so I can send that out.
I think their actual like stage area and all that is, I'd say, toned down.
See if I can find this. Yeah, here, I'm gonna send this over to you guys through chat. This is a Dropbox link that they sent to me, and it does have more photos that kind of shows their other spaces.
I can stop sharing so you can share.
All right. I don't know. Can everybody see it?
Yep.
Perfect. So yeah, these are some of the other photos that they had sent through from other events. So this is obviously with their neon lights on. And then I did see they have, yeah, this space here that's more of like a black and white theme. So I think it just depends on what space you're in and whether, you know, we wanted to use the black lights or the neon lights or what kind of a look we wanted to go with. Yeah, their bar area is not as, I guess, bright.
Loud.
Yeah, obnoxious, whatever we want to say. So yeah, I think there are options to tone it down.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? I do have on the last page of that doc is also like a comparison sheet where you can easily see them all side by side. Otherwise, yeah, they were all pretty easy to talk to, very responsive, so I don't have any concerns there. And they all seem pretty flexible as far as, you know, if we wanted to change something up or do something, they all seemed very easygoing there. So yeah, I think if we could have a decision possibly by the end of this week, just because I do know 2 of the venues have said they have had other groups reach out to them about this date. So I think the sooner we could make a decision and tie something down, that's going to put us in a better place, because I do think other smaller groups have started reaching out to places. So keep that in mind.
Are there any questions or debate on it, or can we make a decision now?
I know which one I'd vote for.
I think Xander gets the final say, right? So maybe we should do it offline after this just to be sure. Or what do you think?
I
mean, he's given his vote.
Yeah. I feel like he voted.
Yep.
Do a poll in the Slack channel.
Yeah.
Cool. I think it'll probably end up being that one, but we'll see.
Probably.
Awesome. Just let me know once we have a final decision, and then I will get everything rolling.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bob, are you going to put the poll in the channel then?
Yep. I'll put the poll in the channel.
Okay, perfect.
I'll do that once we're done with this.
Okay, awesome. Moving on, next on the agenda is the awards. So Night Sky will print them for us. We just have to place the order by September 12th if we want them to be in person.
Okay, I thought they were September 16th. So I've stated on the comms for the awards to have the dates, to have names by September 14th. So I'll have to follow up with some communication about that. September 12th. right?
Okay. Yeah, so it's just the Monday of that week instead of that Friday. So
Okay.
I would encourage them to get that stuff to you by the 9th because you know there are going to be stragglers. That's how that goes.
And when do you need the award design? Just out of curiosity, is that also the same date or is that a different date?
If you have the design, you can give us now. That would be great. The night
Don't
sky
have
would like to
design.
see it. Okay.
Is
Then the
it-
sooner the better, but then you'll have to individualize all of them, correct? So when we send on that September 12th date is when you'll send us the individual artwork for each of them so that that can be printed. But they like to see the actual design prior to then.
Is there a limit on colors too, or
Not that they've told us previously. Does that work?
yeah, that works.
Okay. And we're still planning to do all of these in person, correct? Not shipping to individuals?
Well, I don't think everyone's going to be there, and so one of my bullet points was to for the form for the awardees, if we're going to do that again, or to ask if they're going to be at the contributor summit. Because I know some folks are going to be international, and some folks won't be able to be or won't be there on that Monday of KubeCon week.
The size of the award should also be a consideration there, because if we were to try to give them to them at the contributor summit, they would have to get back
Bring it.
home with them, which might be difficult given airline restrictions. So might be better to just ship them all.
Well, in that case, if we're going to ship them all, we don't have to have the dates by, or the name is by September 12th. Ideally, we could have like one to present, like I think Bob mentioned, worst case scenario.
Yeah, if possible, I would still try and bring, like, if they are relatively small, bring them, and if they have an issue with taking them home, we can revisit shipping. Like, I can put stuff in my car and ship later. The big thing is that we have had issues with shipping to individuals in the past and have had to, like, oddly enough, freaking Canada, like, things have been returned and had to be shipped multiple times. It took a person last year like 9 months to get their award. So if we can potentially reduce that, I am all for it. Out of curiosity, how many people have act on awards so far?
So far, just one SIG.
Okay.
And then so we did like mass comms last week to like the leads group, the Slack channel, and then this week we'll focus on the individual touches.
Yeah, that's usually how it winds up having to be.
Yeah, where we'll get the most response back. So just to verify, so ideally we still want the awards there for an individual, so we would still need the names by September 9th and to finalize by September 12th.
Yeah,
and
worst case, if they don't, then we print the ones that we know will be there and ship the others. Does that sound reasonable, Deb?
Yeah, we'll need to ask Night Sky if they're going to put, like, they've been really flexible with us previously, so I don't foresee this being an issue. But since they're doing this as a special project, running small quantities may not be effective for them. So we need to just make sure they'd be okay if we had to do like 2 batches or something like that.
Okay.
Again, they've been great previously, but I don't want to misspeak and make promises I can't. So, okay. And then the final question we had for you all was about food and beverage for day 2, which is when you just have the meeting rooms and the hangout space. Coffee, tea, water all day. Do you need anything beyond that?
I would probably opt just for coffee, tea, water, or if they have like random little snacks potentially. But like, as we don't know how much or who is going to be on day 2, like I
Yeah.
would not plan for anything more.
Okay, perfect. We'll do that then. I think that's all our questions. Brianne, did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. That's everything I had.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So moving right along, is anyone else from the content team that potentially wants to read off the content updates?
I put those in there just from Slack, by the way.
Thank you, Caslin. The quick, I guess, TLDR is for CFP, potential conference, and then a category for like SIG working group project content face-to-face planning, category for workshops, and then more freeform content like deep dives, BOFs, panels. I'm not too worried about the amount of categories that we have. It's like, depending on what people submit, we can refine the categories down to be more specific things too. And then the room AV requirements that I was reading off earlier, and we'll get together on like making sure that's all good to go. Does anyone have any questions regarding content at this point? One big thing is like, we need to get that CFP link out ASAP and get it up on the site. And it's another excuse for us to send another email out to the KDEV mailing list. Which actually kind of rolls us right into comms.
Hello. So for comms, we did finally send out the initial announcement of the event. We were waiting, if folks will remember, on the COVID changes, the COVID protocol changes for KubeCon. So those finally came out last week. So we sent the email. There was some confusing wording in the email about the dates that the event is happening on. It mentioned both Monday and Tuesday, which, with some clarification, is the main event, of course, is happening on Monday, and then Tuesday there's space for SIG meetings. So I think an additional communication needs to be sent out to clarify what's going on the dates. But I was out over the weekend, so I haven't been able to send that yet, but that's on my list for today. The next email that we need to be focused on getting together is about content. So we'll be working with Jason on that. And I'm working on getting the different topics similar to how they're laid out here in our notes document to the various comms shadows to make sure that everyone has something fun and interesting to do. So if you're a lead on one of these topics, you may have a comms shadow reach out to you to make sure that you're being supported. If not, if you ever need anything, of course, you're welcome to ping me or ping in Slack and the summit staff, and we'll make sure that you get taken care of. But we're working on making sure that folks have specific work to do. Also, welcome to Kim, who's a new comm shadow. Yay.
Hi, everybody.
in case you haven't met. And also Rashid is on today, and he has to be a comm shadow, so we'll be adding him as well. And then, so one idea I came up with on Friday that we haven't really done in the past is Contributor Summit is an excellent opportunity for us to put some blogs on the contributor site, kates.dev. So I came up with a couple of ideas for blog posts there. One will be about the event in general and how wonderful it is. And I've asked Kim to shepherd that along and figure out what we want to do with that. And the other idea was about the awards. So Ray, you'll have one of the shadows. I believe Avinash signed up for that. You'll have one of the shadows reaching out to you about a blog for those. And if anyone else thinks that they would like to have a blog, if you have an idea for what that might be like, let us know and we can put someone on it.
So
That's
one blog idea is actually a post-event blog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we mentioned that as well.
Okay, cool.
I was focusing on the pre-event ones, but we should probably start working on that too. That's a good point. Post-event blog. Did you want to add more detail?
You probably don't need to, start working on it right now, but like, especially once all the recordings are posted and the various things like that, sort of quick TLDR event summary list to, make sure we link out the various people that got awards at that one.
Yeah.
Other fun stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, that was one thing. I thought the awards could use a blog post maybe beforehand to talk about what the awards are. But then also we definitely need to have one after to talk about who won the awards. So Ray will be working with you to figure out if you want to do one before or not.
That actually be kind of cool and also show some pictures of the previous awards.
Yeah, right? I thought that might be
I
fun.
think that's great.
Okay, cool. Yep. You know where to find us if you need anything.
Any other updates or any questions, comments regarding comms? Okay, that will take us to Reg. Is anyone on the Reg team on the call? Okay, quick general thing. Right now we have 54 people registered, 51 approved, 3 not approved. Those are people that generally don't have any sort of, they're not org members or anything like that yet. That probably need a little bit more follow-up. One other general reminder, if you are going to register, please register with the staff link. The information should be at the top of the doc of the notes, like right under resources. And we want to try and get all the staff registered relatively soon. I think only a third or so have so far. So if you can, if you're a lead, please remind your shadows to also register. I think that's pretty much it for a Reg update. Anyone have any questions on that? Okay, awards.
I did.
Sorry.
If I may, sorry, Bob. How's
No
that?
worries.
How are those numbers compared to past events, past in-person events? Are we tracking pretty similar?
I would say so from gut tracking.
Okay.
The most people, what winds up happening is literally every time we send out an email, we get between 20 and 50 more people registering.
Okay.
So it's
gotcha.
the continual comms is the good push. That and deadlines also get people to register.
Yeah. Okay.
I know talking to some people that are kind of uncertain regarding company travel policies have also changed even after getting pre-approval from KubeCon. So people have been a little uncertain on registering right off the bat. Quick thing, Deb, when do we have to get our shirt order in?
I'm gonna leave Brian to answer that question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so if I could get the artwork today, then I will be sending that order over to our vendor and finalizing it over the next week. The hope is that they will have everything into production within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so if we need, in terms of quantity of shirts and things like that, the sooner we can get people registering, the better.
Yeah, ideally. Yeah. Also,
Um,
that was a quick question. I just wanted to make sure the hoodie selection color is black. It looked like from the artwork, that's what you had was black. Is that correct?
that's what I would like it.
I thought it looked great with the black, so.
Yeah.
I know we had bounced around the idea of navy, so just wanted to make sure.
You're right back.
With it being
Yeah, I
a
think-
record themed design, I think the black makes sense.
I agree. I think it looked really nice. But yeah, I think as far as numbers, if we could get as close to what we think it'll be within the next 2 weeks, we'll be fine.
So that is something else to potentially at least mention in the comms announcement. Because of supply chain issues, if you want swag, please register by this date. We cannot make guarantees beyond that.
By what do we want to say? By the end of this week or by the
I
end of
would
next week?
I would push it for 2 weeks.
Okay,
Like
we can send out
end
some
of
comms
next
there.
week.
Yeah.
We can do like a Twitter campaign, do several tweets over the next couple of weeks to remind folks, and at
Yeah.
least 1 or 2 emails. I think I'll work with the shadows on that.
Okay. Yeah, the big thing need to like also push is like you got to be an org member or at least actively contributing to upstream project.
Always got to mention that.
Yep. It's always a little asterisk that goes out with everything.
We haven't talked about what swag distribution on site looks like yet. Are we handing them out? Are we doing bags again? Are we?
We're not doing bags. Ideally, I would say handing out at essentially the summit itself.
Yeah.
The big thing will be is like, give us your GitHub handle and size, and we can go from there. I'm the main reason, like, I'd say also like handout and checking is also just because we don't know what our size restrictions and all that are going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's frustrating, but supply chain, yay.
If somebody comes through and says, I needed a double extra small, then sorry we didn't get that one. We'll have to mail it to you, basically. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Any other questions about, actually, I don't even remember. We kind of jumped around a little bit. Sorry about that. Ray, do you have any like other updates regarding awards, or did you pretty much cover it in the various discussions earlier?
Pretty much covered except for one thing. I know for last year for the virtual contributor celebration, we had a form for awardees to fill out. This year, I'm assuming we're going to do the same as well, and so maybe that form could include if they're going to be on site or not. Is that a correct assumption? And do I need to? I think last time the form was created by CNCF. I might be wrong on that, but should I go ahead and create that form, or should?
I honestly don't remember the form, but like it's easy enough for us to create one.
I can share the link from last year's, or just duplicate it, honestly.
Yeah, I think duplicate, except for just one question at the very beginning, will they be at the contributor summit? That
Okay.
needs to be added.
Perfect. I'll share this over with you right now.
Okay, thank you.
It's actually like a great way to make sure we get the right spelling and all that on everything too. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, comments on awards? Okay. We kind of already went over celebration. Noah, do you have any ops updates?
As usual, waiting on content framework.
Yep. Always want to make sure and ask. Does anyone else have any questions, comments regarding some, planning in general?
I updated the agenda with the stuff that Jason put into Slack. And the only thing is the session room. So the large general session room, the workshop room, and the meeting room that you're using for sessions. What layout do you want? Do you want all three of them in rounds? Do you want them in like the U shape of chairs? Do you want them something else?
Sorry, can you?
Do you want me to share again?
The spreadsheet's being done for me right now.
So it's these three rooms. You've got your general session, your workshop room, and your meeting room that you're using for sessions. In the past, you've done it in rounds. Is that still what you want?
For workshop, definitely. I think, let me go back to his notes. One room set workshop with Mike's presenters, co-presenters to the meeting room. So U shape, I think, was for the others.
Yeah. And if the answer is to ping Jason, that's fine too.
Okay. Yeah, we can take that one to Slack.
Okay.
I would expect that a lot of that's going to depend on how much of it is on conference versus how much of it is going to be, if there's going to be like slide-based presentations, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, we won't have a good idea on that to lock in the AV. So we just gotta, like, we probably want at least one in normal theater seating just to, sort of cover our bases with stuff. So like that might be one for, 413 or something.
Okay. And then the general session room, so pending how many people you get, if you do it in rounds, we'll start with this room combined and then break it off and close them off during the break. Or you could do theater, in which case you'd fit more. Up to you. Pending how many register.
420 is the big main space, right? That we're using, like that's the general, like where everyone's gathering ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay, then that one is actually probably the one we want, like at least theater to start. I have a couple ideas for that one, but this is sort of timely. I just got the call from the people, so if we want to like regarding my appliance delivery. So anyone else have any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, cool. We will call it there and follow up in Slack. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.